Well, this morning it's a lovely day. It's the first day of spring. The sun is out, the birds are singing, and there's a bit of positivity in the air. We've got a vaccine getting rolled out, and everything's looking good. So, lot of positivity. Now, I'm joined by two people today who are looking forward to a positive future as well. Eric O'Donnell, who's the managing director of ProPitch, and Matt LeBrun, who's the business development manager for AGS. Now, good morning, both. Matt, you've got some good news to give to our viewers. Can you just explain to me a little bit why we're all together in this Zoom call this morning?
Thank you very much, Scott. And yeah, we're really excited to talk about the collaboration between ProPitch and AGS. This is obviously with two very synergistic joined up companies who want to put a commitment towards industry, research, development, and education. We see this as the next step of the evolution of our business and industry, creating the biggest database of player interaction and agronomical performance, allowing access to ProPitch app and suite, and also the tools. So raising the standards and raising the bar of the assessments that we're able to offer our customer base. We've already accrued a large number of data points across the last year. And this goes from varying constructions. And it's a platform to learn together and progress through the industry.
Now, Eric, I know much of the thrust of this is based on the fact that your app is so successful. It's such a key element to the whole procedure. Can you just talk a little bit about the background to the app, Eric, just so we've got those people that don't know about it and get a little bit of information about this app, which seems to have revolutionized the way you can go forward?
Sure, thanks, Scott. Yeah, I mean, the app really came about from our conversations with UEFA originally. We had thought we should have much more agile way of collecting the data, and pieces of paper and clipboards have been majorly superseded in the last few years. So UEFA were very keen for us to have an app that when we did the pitch visits and pitch assessments for the various UEFA competitions, it was all done interactively. It could be put to the cloud, and then their downloading could be almost immediate. So when we attended for the last UEFA pitch assessment program, we offered to put the app in as part of that package. And when we won our part of that package, we obviously thought, oh, we need to make an app now. And I don't know if you've ever tried to develop an app, but the app developers are an interesting bunch of people. And if you don't get the brief right, then that's going to cost you a lot of money. So it was a massive learning curve for us. But obviously the platform is quite, you can change it quite a lot. So you can develop it for different types of assessment protocols. It's very easy to use on a telephone, a cell phone, or a tablet. And because you've got the portal, managers or even ground staff can go onto the portal, collect the data, look at trends, look at correlations. And as I say, you can have a small suite of testing or agronomic measurements, or you can have a large suite, depending on what your particular what area you're looking at on the pitch. So yeah, it's been a very interesting development for the company, and the fact that the ground staff are now interacting with us on a daily basis, it's a fascinating way forward for us.
When did it go live?
It's live about 3 years now, and we did have quite a lot of teething problems. I think most people do with apps. It's very difficult to test it yourself. You need to go live, you need to get ground staff to start using it, and to get managers to start asking questions of you. Oh, how do I do that? How do I do this? So we very quickly had to do some updates, and now it's settled down. It's going very well. We will probably put another update out in the next 6 months or so. But we listen to the clients. We take the feedback, and if we can see an interesting development, we'll bring it to the fore. That's how we're working with our clients, really.
Now, on this new collaboration with AGS, what was it that attracted you to AGS as a company and one that you would wish to build this relationship with?
Well, the thing about AGS, what we liked about well, first of all, the relationships are very personal. The guys are great to work with, so there's a lot of social interaction there. So that was an easy fit, but also it's a very forward-thinking company. It's always looking to develop new technologies, looking at education as a way forward, and also the treatments they have, which are again, quite innovative. We like the fact that if you use the app properly, you might be able to dial in the treatments more accurately. And that has a benefit not only to the client, maybe in terms of cost, but to the environment as well, because you're putting in, just the right amount of treatments to get the outcome, not overdosing, not over-treating. And there's long-term relationships there in the background that made it, made the, as Matt says, the synergy really work very well. We're all about data. We love collecting data and then, trying to mine that data to make improvements. And AGS are exactly the same. They want the data to do the same thing. And the educational side of it for us is very important. We want to learn more about what these treatments do and how we can be very, again, agile with these things. And AGS want to learn all about, the testing side and the assessment side. So I think that's a fantastic fit. And we're looking forward to, doing a few webinars together to try and get the message out there,
And Matt, in your role, business development, what do you foresee going forward as the benefits to AGS from this collaboration? Do you see a whole new opportunities opening up for you?
Yes, I believe it benefits AGS and the customers in total. I mean, when I came on board, the existing team that Sam has kind of put in place, and the results that I see these guys producing and our customer base producing week in, week out are phenomenal. So we welcome accurate and independent data to kind of build on our product development and support into the customers. I think as AGS, this will also allow us to do some cross-staff training with ProPitch and also the customer base. And it will give us a kind of clear vision of the next kind of phase of development within the sports turf market. I see, as Eric said, a lot of the people I work with and the governing bodies now really focusing on accurate data in order to make management decisions going forward. So if we can build that portfolio, and this is right from every level. So at the very top with your constructed pitches of, Deso, Cis or Mixto, through to your fibre sand and all the way down to grassroots. I believe we can really help to identify the issues that we're seeing or, wins that we're seeing and try and replicate that. And working with the customer base and the industry to create roadmaps of improvement. So not really resting on the history that's happened, but progressing forward, and saying, how can we be better? How can we better support this? How can we introduce better products? And how can we move forward as a company and really make a commitment to the industry?
Eric, have you noticed, you've been in the industry for some time, that the customer, the end user, the groundsman, the course manager are much more receptive to the data approach, driven approach now, as opposed to the old touchy-feely art as opposed to science that was probably there, I'm trying to think when, pre-70s, something like that, maybe early 80s?
Yeah, I think it's a generational thing, isn't it? I mean, technology, if you at the end of football, the technology that's in stadiums now is, you've been to Tottenham yourself, but that's an example of the technology that's applied to a playing surface. So the younger generation do embrace, apps, testing, data, but it's amazing to see some of the older generation doing exactly the same, and taking to technology and apps and mining data and then using it to the benefit. I think from our point of view, we are very keen to keep developing the testing protocols and the equipment to make it a lot easier for ground staff to use it and get accurate data. It's a bit of a black art doing some of the testing. And what we need to do is take away that objectivity, the subjectivity rather, that some of the tests can have, and make them a little bit more objective. And that would be one of our ambitions as we go forward in the next couple of years. It's to be a lot easier to use, but give you very precise results, so that when the groundsmen or when the managers are looking at the data, they can say, well, yeah, I now know exactly where we're going with this. So that's another area that I think both AGS and ourselves will benefit from, and even the governing bodies, because we are seeing the rapid development of standards and from FIFA and World Rugby to do with natural pitch surfaces. So, and we're feeding into that through the working groups to develop these standards. So we've got a seat at the table to influence that, really.
And I would echo what Eric says there. I mean, the development and the transition of technology in the last 10 years has been fantastic. But the leading guys that I see within the industry are a kind of mix of the fundamental agronomic factors that go behind it, but then they're embracing the latest technologies that are coming out and continuing to develop. And that's really the ProPitch app and tools fitting, as in it's all built from a completely sound agronomical platform, but embrace latest tools and technology going forward.
No, I said at the very beginning about the fact that there's an element of positivity out there. We don't want to get too carried away, but in general terms, are you both feeling positive about the next few months going as we head on towards the summer and going forward? Who first? Matt?
Yes. Very positive. I said it's always a really good kick in positivity when the sun comes back out. But I think as we go forward, and you'll see more of the webinars, the kind of educational events, and the things that we're kind of processing in the background come to light, there's a lot of positivity around this. Over the next kind of couple of years, that you'll see kind of bigger development on the side, for when we can actually get back out into the industry and put on some live events also. So I think everyone's really looking forward to it. I think it's really kind of welcome, the positivity. And yeah, there's a general excitement across the whole team.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I think it works, isn't it? We've really missed that personal interaction, and going to stadiums, going to trainings to actually speak to the groundsman direct. I mean, I did a webinar for Tottenham a couple of weeks ago, but it was virtually. Couldn't go to the training ground, and all the guys were sitting in what it looked like their training room, and it just doesn't really work when you do training like that. It does work in certain platforms, but when you're talking about maintenance of sports fields, it doesn't really work. You need to be on the field, and you need to have the tools with you and interact with the surface. So yeah, we're very much looking forward to it. There's a lot to. I think there's. We have been held back, I think, by this lockdown. It's held back the whole sector. And, there's going to be a bit of a rush back to what we call the new normal when we've all been vaccinated, or all these lockdown restrictions are lifted. Maybe after June, July time, we might see the possibility to get back on site,
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed that everything stays on track and we do get to that point. But I'd just like to thank both of you for joining me this morning, and good luck for the collaboration, and good luck for your two individual companies as well. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Scott.